Hey there! How are you doing today? My name is Adiola, and I'm so excited to be here today. You know, um, last on the last episode, we talked about self-worth and how it goes nowhere. Same thing with your esteem, same thing with your confidence. Whatever you've come into this world in and with is still there. Nobody touches it. But the stories that you tell yourself, the stories that other people tell you, the things that other people say you can or cannot do is what makes you think it is gone. It is not. It's there. And did you practice what I said you should do? Have you started to look into therapy? Have you started to read books? Have you started to go for conferences, meet teachers who can help you? If you haven't done it, why haven't you? Don't forget, this is you helping you. Okay? Today, I want to talk about something that, people ask me a lot about. How do you stay in a place where, people like you? So being attractive to the right kind of people. And I started to think about it, that how have I been able to do that? And I think the first thing that came into my spirit, because I'm a very spirit-minded person, is how vulnerable you are. I think one of the things that has set me apart from a lot of people is that I'm not afraid to say anything that has happened to me. I'm not ashamed. I've got nothing to hide, prove, protect, or defend. I personally believe that everything that has happened in my life has happened because I'm meant to help one person at least. So if I keep it to myself, how am I helping other people? I've also found myself in spaces where people pretend to be the things that they're not. They say the things that are not really true to them or even true at all in their circumstance, but they're trying to look good. They want to portray this personality that they really don't have, because once again, they don't understand that vulnerability is power and it's from a place of strength. We're being told that when you're vulnerable, you're weak. And that's one of the biggest lies that they've told us. When you're vulnerable, you first tell yourself that I'm grateful for the situation that has happened to me. And I never used to look at it that way, looking at it and saying, see how far I've come and how far I have grown. See the person that I'm showing up as today. See the woman that I have become. That's one of the things that I get when I'm vulnerable, at least. I don't know about other people, but I always speak from my own experiences. And when I'm able to share things with people, I also realize that people then connect. Because once again, we live in this world where everybody's trying to portray a behavior or a personality or a persona that they aren't. We have so many shields, so many walls that we have built. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't build a gate around you, but with a gate, people can see through it, right? And things can come through it. But we build walls, mighty walls, the walls of Jericho, that it took so long for it to be able to come down, and so many people for it to be able to come down. Some people, their walls never come down. So I think that that's one of the things that has gotten me the right kind of people that I have around me. Being very, very vulnerable. I remember when I wanted to start out as a stepmother coach and start out my business to help stepmothers and blended families. I remember people looked at me and said, what? Nobody's going to come. Nobody really. It's not something. I also thought that it was something that people were not interested in, or people were too afraid to come out and speak. I mean, there's so many stepmothers before me in Nigeria. Why aren't they doing anything for young women like us at the time to support other women who would be going through this journey? I remember also, I did a video, very vulnerable video, and it was my mother that interviewed me in the video, and it was so from my heart. I remember even after the interview, she said to me, some of the things you said were a bit too deep. And I said, well, if I want other people to put skin in, I'm going to have to put skin in. Now, I also know that I had to leave people with their dignity intact, because I'm still in my marriage. Most people that come out that talk about their marriages a lot are out of it. And so then it's easier for them to talk about it. But I'm still in this same marriage with this same person and these same people in my environment or in my situation. How do I leave all of them with their dignity intact? And so I started to learn how to make it what I make things mean, not what the real situation could have been, because nothing means anything except the meaning you give to things. And so even I remember my husband looking at me and saying, this thing is too, why do you have to tell your story? And I gave him the same answer that I gave my mother, and gave other people the same answers that I gave my mother and my husband. Because for me, these things happen to me to be able to help other people. And because I also had a coach, Lisa Nichols, who is also very vulnerable, and that was the reason why I really connected with her. I promised myself that I would be that voice also who comes out telling the truth. Now, does it mean that I would tell everything that is happening? No, because there's certain things that you keep to yourself. There's certain things you are still even working through. I will never talk about anything outside that I have not dealt with 100%. So that when I'm speaking about it, I'm not speaking about it from pain or trauma or anger or resentment. I'm speaking about it because I have worked through it and I'm now on the other side. And so when I'm not triggering anybody else who is going through the same thing with my own venom, if you understand what I mean. So it's not everything you go out and say, but there's a lot that you can say. There's a lot that you can share. There's a lot that you can level with people, especially also if you're in the right atmosphere, you're in the right crowd, because also it's not everything you share with people. Some people can never understand what you say. And so you would have wasted your time, you would have wasted their time, you would have used information that you could have used in another place on this same people that will never understand it. So being vulnerable is not just saying everything or, saying everything everywhere. No, there's select crowd. There's certain things I can say here that I can't say in other places, and vice versa. There's certain things I can only tell a few people that I know that have the maturity and the capacity to handle what I'm about to say. So you guide, or you are guided and guarded by the people that you're about to speak with. So being vulnerable, once again, was one of the things that really and has and is still helping me. Being vulnerable, definitely. The other thing I think is my empathy towards people. Now, I think also some of the things that have happened to me was to teach me how to be empathetic towards other people in that situation. Rather than being judgmental or passing labels or just saying things without actually knowing how to go deeper into any situation. So for it to have happened to me, who felt, I got it all covered, it took me a step back to be able to look at myself and say, well, if it can happen to you, it can happen to other people. So how do you then become that voice to the other people to help them through the process? So empathy and compassion, I think, are sisters and brother and sister. So you want to have both to be able to work with people regardless of what situation you find yourself in. I think I'll stop at those two: vulnerability and empathy and compassion. If you're able to have that as a human being, you would look deeper into yourself and into other people before you pass judgment. I think one of the reasons why people really find it very easy to talk to me is because I can just say, you know what, I hear you, and really it's not that much of a big deal, because we're so hard on ourselves. And so when people say things to me, I smile and say, okay, is that all? Is that all you did? Okay. Let's go and have a drink, or let's go for a walk, or let's talk about it. I'm not the one to beat somebody who is down any further. However, when we then have the opportunity and I see that you're in a better space, I can then say, oh, but you know that you could have done this thing in a different way. And they say, I could have. I'll say, okay, now that you can, do it differently. I run away from using the word should, because should is condemning. And it's blameful, and it's you just, being hard on yourself. But could is hopeful. And so because I could, I still can. And that just makes it easy for me to get up and do it. So I think those are the two things. And then also maybe the last thing I'll say is smile. Smile more. You know, people are very attracted to, and don't smile, fake smile, just the smile. Smile with your eyes, because your eyes are a window to your heart. And there's certain people that I see that smile at me and I'm like, whoa, I just saw your heart right there. And you're such a beautiful soul. And they'll be like, just with one smile. I'm like, yeah, you don't see what I'm seeing. You know, so a smile at all times, I think, should be something that you always are ready to do, regardless of whether you know people or not. Just a smile. Imagine you looking at somebody on the street and smiling. What would naturally happen? They most likely will smile back. And so you've put a smile on someone else's face, and you have also received a smile. I think those three things, well, four things technically, you know, can add to your repertoire of things to make you attractive and make you, make people like you. And it will help draw the right kind of people into your circle. And you would also be drawn into the right circles. Yes, I hope I've been able to help. Once again, I only share the things that I do, I feel, I say, and my way is only a way. It's not the way. So if you feel comfortable listening to me, please listen to me, and also take some of the things that I say and act upon it. But if it doesn't resonate with you, that's also okay. Find the person that resonates with you and follow them, and you will be happier for it. Once again, have a wonderful day. Mwah. Love and light.